sure to check out Agelessgeeks for your figures and collectibles. So what is going on, my fellow collectors? How is everybody doing today? Garradon18 here, and today we're going to be taking a look at the Max Factory Figma Goblin Slayer. So let's get into it right away and take a quick look at the box. So as you can see, we do get the basic style box when it comes to Figma's figures. So we do get them right there on the front of the box. On the top to see Max Factory warning, blah blah blah. On the bottom says Figma, some other stuff, and Goblin Slayer. And then here's the bottom of the box. We do get a cool image of the figure there along with the barcode. Then here's the top of the box, same thing, just without the barcode. Then the one side here, we do get a cool image of the figure once again. Then the other side, another dope image of the figures. Then the back of it, they show a bunch of really cool poses you can get the figure into, along with most of the accessories. But anyway, that is the packaging. Let's get this video to take a closer look at Goblin Slayer, the Slayer of Goblins. Alrighty, taking a closer detailed look at Beard Cutter here, as the one character would call him. I forgot his name, but Max Factory did a beautiful job with the detail. Goblin Slayer just has a very cool looking character design to him. Like his armor looks dope, all the straps and everything, and his helmet or mask looks really cool too. So they really did capture the look of the character very well in figure form here. Now the helmet or the head sculpt here turned out fantastic. We get like this subtle wash throughout the armor there, and it kind of gives it like a weathered type look, like he's been using it a lot to slay goblins. And the sculpt of it just looks dope, man. Especially the mask part, that looks pretty cool with the paint sculpt. Very clean paintwork on this as well. Then we get the piece of cloth here. It just hangs down there, and it is on a ball hinge, so you can articulate that around, which is pretty cool. But very nice sculpt detail on that. And then the fur type piece around the neck looks really nice. The only issue with this though is it hinders his neck articulation a lot, which kind of sucks. But the sculpt of this piece looks really cool. It's a bit sharp, so be careful of that. The torso here, the armor looks great. A little bit of like battle damage there. We get a little bit of that subtle wash like right around here. It's not all throughout the armor, just in like certain parts. The straps look pretty cool. Very nice clean paintwork on that. The sculpt looks good. There's the back. We get that wash like on the bottom, the side, and on the top, and that's it on that plate of armor there. And then we do have a peg hole, which is meant for the stand. And then this piece looks cool. These straps right there. And then we get like his little throwing knives right here. I wish he came with a couple of those so you can have him posed like he's about to throw one or something, but we don't get any of those throwing knives or anything like that. Then we do get a couple pouches. This one came off on mine, so I had to re-glue it back on there. As you can see, some of the dried glue around it. And we have his holster for his goblin slaying sword, and then we get some more pouches on the back, and I don't believe they're articulated, but very nice sculpt detail on them. Would have looked nice if they added like a shading or a wash on them or something. And then the arms I think turned out pretty good. We do get the armor on the shoulder here, which is just on a swivel. I mean, you can move it around, but it's not going to really stay, you know what I mean? It just really swivels, so it can hide the shoulder joint there. We get a couple straps, well, one strap on each bicep right there with the buckle. That looks really nice, and there is a bicep swivel up there as well. And then we do get the armor on the forearm. Straps look cool, and then we do get that like subtle wash throughout it as well. And then for the legs here, very nice sculpt and paint detail. Once again, we get that subtle wash on the armor. On the upper thighs, we get some sculpted wrinkles on the inside of the thighs on the pants right there. Same with like going down the side of the leg as well. We get some knee armor, and then we do get the shin armor, which looks really dope. We get the subtle wash here and there on it, so it kind of looks like it's battle worn, you know what I mean? I really dig the way that looks, and I love the paint that they used for the armor as well. And then the feet here, we get a little bit of armor there, and then the boots look pretty good from what I can tell from looking at it. And then the bottom of them, nothing really going on at all. But overall, I think Max Factory definitely did do a superb job when it comes to the detail for this Goblin Slayer, and I can't be any more happy with how the paint sculpt turned out. But anyway, let's continue on. Moving on to the accessories, we really don't get a ton of stuff with Goblin Slayer here, but we still do get a decent amount of things. And as you can see, we don't get any other alternate heads. We just get the one head that does come on the figure out of the packaging, and I wish they either included an unmasked one, or I would have preferred maybe a helmeted one, just like this one here, but with one of the eyes lit up red with kind of that like effect on it, you know what I mean? I don't know why they didn't include at least that type of alternate head. But what we do get the Figma bag here, of course, and this is for people who like to store their accessories in there, so we do get that. And then we do get the basic Figma stand, so we do have the base and then the arm there with the peg that does peg into the back of the figure, and it does have the basic stand type articulation, so we do get that. And then we also get his shield, his sword, a club, and then we do get an extra wrist joint. And I always love when a figure company includes extra wrist joints with their figures. To me, that is one of the best things they can do when they give us a figure, because these things can break, you know what I mean? So I really do appreciate Max Factory including that. And then we do get his club, his sword, and his shield. So we do get his shield here. I believe that's battle damage right there, and it looks great. It is sculpted in there, that cross type battle damage that's been hit with swords, I guess. But I like the black paint that they added in it as well, and you get some very clean paintwork all throughout it there, as you can see. And I love the way the end looks right there, how it kind of has like a very subtle wash or a dry brush all throughout. It looks really nice. Even the inside has that dry brush or wash throughout it. And then we do get these straps, which you strap onto his arm, and I'll show you how to do that shortly. So we do get the shield, then we do get his goblin slaying sword, which is definitely my favorite accessory, and it is a shorter sword because it's meant to kill goblins, and it does have that very subtle like wash or dry brush on it here and there, as you can see there. It is a little sharp, so be careful of that. Down here looks pretty cool where the gold meets the color of the blade there. And then the handle looks really nice too. And the way you get him to grip onto it, you just unpeg the handle, slide the hand on, and then just peg that back in just like that. So we do get the sword, and then finally we do get the club here, which looks great. It does have a little bit of weight to it, but very nice sculpt detail all throughout it, and we do get some very nice paintwork on it as well. It's not just painted brown, they added like a black paint in it as well, which looks really nice. So we do get that stuff, and I'll show you how to put on his shield right now quickly. And the way you get Goblin Slayer to have him hold onto his shield and the sword, and I forgot to mention, you can sheath or holster the sword right here. You just slide it right in the holster, and then there you go. You have him holstering his sword, and the way you get him to grip onto his sword is really simple. Like I said, you just unpeg the handle, slide it through the gripping hand there, and then just peg the handle back onto the blade, and then there you go. As simple as that. Now for the shield, you have to unpeg the left hand, and then take the straps here, slide it over the forearm like so, just like how he has it in the series. Take the hand here, peg that back on the joint, and there you go. You have them ready to slay some of those goddamn goblins. But he looks dope once you have him with the shield and the sword right there. But we do get all that awesome stuff, and then we finally get 6 alternate hands. And as you can see, we do get the hand rack once again, which they usually always include with all their figures. And starting on the right, we do get a pair of fists, and then we do get a pair of gripping hands, and then a pair of open hands. And I really don't like the way the open hands are sculpted. It's just sculpted very oddly, you know what I mean? The gripping hands does grip onto the weapons perfectly, and the fists, all the hands are very simple to interchange, but the fists, the wrist peg holes are a little too tight of a fit, so you kind of have to use a bit of force to get those on. These hands are very easy to get on, but we do get some very nice sculpt detail throughout all 6 hands. But anyway, that is all the accessories included with Beard Cutter. Let's keep moving on with the rest of the review, shall we? Now for the height of Orkbald, to the very top of his head, it looks like he's just shy of 6 inches tall. And then here he is compared to the Figma Griffith, the Figma Repaint Edition Berserker Armor Guts, the SH Figuarts Jiraiya, and the 1000 Toys Hellboy. And then here he is compared to the SH Figuarts Endgame Captain America, the SH Monster Arts Predator Wolf, the Figma Twilight Princess Link, and the Mezco 112 Silver Knight Batman. And then here he is compared to the Storm Collectibles Smoke, the SH Figuarts Sage Mode Naruto, the Mafex Justice League Batman, and the Figma Black Swordsman Guts. And then here he is compared to the SH Figuarts Awakened Warrior Super Saiyan Goku, and the Mezco 112 Deadpool. Anyway, there's some quick comparisons. Let's keep moving on with the rest of the review. So now for the articulation, and Goblin Slayer does have some pretty good movement besides at the neck here, as I mentioned before, because it does get hindered by this fur piece. So you're not going to get a ton of movement at the neck. So looking up with both joints, you're really not going to be able to get him to look up at all. And both joints, he does look down really well, so that definitely is not an issue. You do get pivot at the upper neck, as you can see right there, but it does get hindered a bit, and then it does swivel as well. The lower neck joint pivots a little bit, as you saw, it moves forward and back a bit, and then it also swivels. So he would have pretty good head and neck articulation. Like I said, it just does get hindered a lot, and you have to like tuck or watch the lower part of the helmet so you can get him to look up like that. You have to tuck it under the fur piece so you can get him to look up, or it's not going to work, as you can see there. And then this piece is on a ball hinge, so it can hinge up and down, and it can swivel as well. Now for the torso here, we have a joint at the abdomen and then one at the waist. So the abdomen joint does move forward and back really well, actually. If you go a little too far back, there's a tiny gap right there. You do get a little bit of pivot, well, pretty good pivot, and then it also does swivel. The waist here goes forward and back decently. So with both joints, he does crunch forward really well, but you see a very ugly gap in the back right there, like holy crap. And then going back with both joints, he goes back about that much. Not too much pivot at the waist. Whoops, I took the figure apart there. And really not much swivel either. So okay movement at the torso and the waist. Now the shoulders here, as I mentioned, the armor pieces can just swivel, and that's about it. But we do get a very nice like circular motion out of the shoulder right there, and the arms do go out to the sides. Let's see here, they do go out about 90 degrees. The armor is going to hinder it. You can either tuck it under the fur piece and it still goes out about 90 degrees, or tuck it, or not tuck it, put it above the fur piece and it goes out about the same as well. They do go up and down. You do have swivel up there, but we also have true bicep swivel as well. We do have single jointed elbows that bend in a little more than 90 degrees, and the joint does swivel where it connects into the bicep and where it connects into the forearm as well. And then we do have a ball hinge on the wrist, so it does swivel and hinges back and forth. Now for the legs here, Goblin Slayer can kick forward 90 degrees, so that's definitely good. Goes to the back just a tiny bit, and let's see if he can Jean-Claude Van Damme it here. And Goblin Slayer, whoops, I kind of ripped it off the joint, almost can, just shy of 90 degrees, so not bad leg movement there. Then we do get the hip swivel. We do have single jointed knees that do bend back all the way, and the joint swivels a little bit where it connects into the thigh, but doesn't where it connects into the lower leg. And then the ankles here, they do swivel, they hinge up a tiny bit, hinge down really well, and then we do get a decent ankle pivot. Not the best, but you do get some pivot there. And then we do have a nice toe hinge. An issue though, my right hip swivel got some looseness to it, so it can't hold up certain poses, which is pretty damn irritating. And then my wrist joint with the gripping hand has a bit of a loose fit as well, so you have to be careful with this figure because his joints seem like they can get loose with certain points. Not all of them, but probably the hips will probably be the biggest issue with looseness, so you do have to be careful of that. But overall, I think Goblin Slayer does have some pretty good articulation. Some points definitely could have been better, while other points are really good on this figure, and you'll be able to get him in some pretty good goblin slaying like poses, and I'm about to show you some of them right about now. But anyway, that is my review of the Max Factory Figma Goblin Slayer. Hope you enjoyed it. If I had to rate this figure between a 1 through 10, I think I'd have to give it an even 8. If you would like to know the price and where to buy this figure, I did have mine imported from Japan from Ami, but I know my buddy from Agelessgeeks will be getting this in stock any day now, so you can check over at Agelessgeeks.com. If you can't find it on there, I do highly recommend going through their Instagram or Facebook page. I will put more information in the description below. And if you would like to support the channel, don't forget to subscribe and click that notification bell. And if you liked it, feel free to give it a thumbs up. If you didn't like it, oh well, I guess you didn't like it. But thanks for watching. I will see you later. Factory, warning, blah blah blah. On the bottom says Figma, chibba cha and chibbity chibbity choo. Then the bottom of the box here, we do get a cool image of the figure, and then we do get the barcode, and blah 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 blah. We do get the basic looking style box when it comes to Figma figures. The Figma Griffith, the Figma blah 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 blah, the Figma Twilight Princess Link, and Batman. So now for the articulation and goblins. Blah, 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 blah. Couldn't say Goblin Slayer properly. Gosh darn it.